Here we go, 7.39. Aliquanto, a little bit. Speciosus, good in appearance. We've got some genitives in the same genere is the case. In the same type of behaviour of this guy, Sentius Saturnius Vetulinus. And his auxilium of last resort, as they say, or last sortus here. So something's happened to him similar. Qui, who, when by the triumvirs, amongst the prescriptions, suum nomen, his name, he audited it, he heard, was positioned in it, he was listed. Continuo, the adverb, immediately, he invaded, where you get invasions from, so he took the insignia of the praetorship and proceed antibusing in the way of lictors, and I think that's one word, and of apparitors, these are some sort of servants or officials, and in the way of public slaves. So there's a bit of a procession going on with all these people. Of these subordinates, so there's three people. So he's got a group of people as lictors and as servants and in the way of suborned public servants. He seized vehiculars. He occupied the hospitia. These are some sort of auspicious takings, I think. He submoved it, or moved the obvious, people he met. And so audacious he was in his usurpation or taking of power in broad daylight in Maxima Luce, that the most dense eyes he dug out in the darkness of his enemies. So it's a strange way of putting things, but we'll read on. Okay, so he's deceiving his enemies with darkness. Anyway, idem, the same guy, no capital letters. He veneted to Putoli. What's that in English? Putoli? And Perindiac. And just as if he was Agans, present participle, he was conducting himself as a public minister, a proper job, summa licentia, with the utmost licenseness, or as if he was taking this job. Remember, he's got a bunch of fake lictors and all this with him. Having corrupted some boats, having seized some boats, he went into Sicily, which was then the most certissimum perfugium, the most certain type of refuge or place then of the proscripted people, and he penetrated into Sicily. He made his way there. 7.3.10. Guess that's dative to these, with one thing added, and one example added, of a lighter note, and then I will revert. The other one has divert. Anyway, then I'll revert to these external examples. Amantissimus, someone's very loving, and it's male in the superlative. So quidem, indeed, of his son. So someone's very loving of his son. And when him in concessus and pericolus facubuses, so with a lot of torches burning, which he didn't approve of and were dangerous, he saw his son against burning from an insane love by insania cupididae in his pater. So he's a very loving father of a son, and he wanted to inhibere him, to stop him from this insanity. He tempered his patriam indulgiam, his fatherly indulgence, with a salubrious plan, a very healthy plan. Petidenum, for he petted it, he sought that priusquam, prior then, he went to her whom he was loving, or before he would go, that he would use vulgaram permissive Venus. Venus, we get venereal diseases, etc. from. So the common and permissive sort of love. So before you go into her, you should, permissive should mean probably married or something in the common way, of which the adolescents obsecutus followed these prayers or wishes. What have we got? These look like they go together. Impetum resolve. So when he had paid out this impetus that he had of his mind, of his unlucky mind, with the satiety of licensedness in this concubitus, who slept with her, to this which he had previously not allowed to do. So after he did all this, now he was more tardy or slower and more regretting. And Paul at him little by little, he deposited this woman that he'd wanted. So I guess he'd had his fill of her, and eventually his desire for her went away. Okay, 7.3. So now external examples outside of outside of Rome. We look like Alexander of Macedon, when he, who was a rex, a king, by lots was advised, so by the drawing of a lots by an oracle, that him who, having egressed out of the gates, the first person that he occurred with, that he met with to himself, the oracle ordered that he was to be interficied, to be killed. Forte, by chance, an Asinarium, a mule driver, before all other people, he obviamed, he met. This was done, and he had ordered him, imperessed him, to be ripped away to death, taken to death. With this guy queranting or complaining, what, with him being undeserved of capital supplication, he didn't deserve capital punishment, what was he added to this, and he was innocent, when the excuse of this fact was retooled or told to him by the precepts or instruction of an oracle, the Asinarius said, "See it is. If this is it so," he said, "King, then another." Soars would be the nominative. The soars, the lot, the oracle has destined another one for this death. For the Acellus, the donkey, which was before me, which I was agabaming, I was driving, prior to you occurred. You ran into the donkey first. Delectatus Alexander. Alexander was delected, he was delighted, and of him was such a cunning speech or words, and that himself from this error had been recalled back. So Alexander was delighted that he didn't have to kill the guy. He had this occasion in which a vilior type of animal, a cheaper kind of animal, or a little bit cheaper kind of animal, a donkey to a human, should be expiated or rapid-witted, taken away for the expiation of this religious obligation. Ligo comes from binding. So anyway, Summer in Hook. So he was great in this kind of mansueto, in his mildness. There's a thing missing here. He was par in the cunningness of the equisone, someone who controls horses or grooms horses, in another's ruling, basically. So I guess the donkey driver, he was in the service of someone else, so Alexander got to be very mild, and he was equally cunning when dealing with another's groom, I suppose the driver's called here. 7.3, external example 2. The dirty domination, having been oppressed, of the Magi, that's ablative absolute, so the Magi must have been ruling, and it looks like Darius, having oppressed their dirty type of domination. Now he has six adjuvators, 6 helpers taken up of the same dignity of him as him, equal with power, made a pact with this Praeclarus bit of work. There was this famous work he did with his consort, with his fellow men, these 6 people, and he made it so that in Sidenting, present participle, they were sitting on horses at the ortu of the sun, the rising of the sun. They would take a course, dirigent, they would go there in a straight line to a certain place, and he would obtain the ablative, the kingdom, of whose horse in this place was the first to Hineset, to Winnie. Ceterum. But the maximum merchandise, the great prize, his competitors, or fellow competitors, with them waiting, these go together in ablatives, waiting for the benefit of fortune, waiting for fortune to help them. Looks like, who was he? Darius himself, Solus, had with the ecumine of his groom, his equisone, whose name was Obarus. I don't know what that is in English. prosperum ex opte re effectum execute. So he followed out this great hopeful thing that would have a great effect. So he who into the genitals parts of a mare, it's got the A in it, so it's a female, he demishammed his hand. He sent in his hand to the genitals of a mare. And when ventil messet, and they had come to this locus, this place, he moved his hand to the nari buses, the nostrils of a male horse. Quo odor, but which odor irritated before the others, irritated the horse, and it edited a hinium. Hinitum, it produced its whinnying or neighing or whatever it does. Having heard this, the 6 remaining candidates of summa potestas, of this highest place, continuo, immediately delapsed or collapsed from their horses, which is the custom of the Persians, and with their corpora buses prostrating, with their bodies prostrating on this locative on the ground, they salutaveronted, they greeted Darius as king. Quantum. How great an imperium, an empire, by how small a vafframento. It's like some sort of action. Vaffra usually means cunningness, so was intercepted, so was taken. So how great an empire was taken by such a small bit of trickery. Now I just lined up dirigorant for the daily dictionary, but I might make this the daily dictionary. Dirigorant, which we saw there, was when they lined up, formed up with the to see who could get there first. But vafframento, what do we got? Nothing. Okay, well, okay, that'll do for the day.